a lot of people ask us, how do you raise your children? Okay, so today basically I would like to share with all of you how we use the Dhamma and interlace with our daily life and to become a Buddhist inspired family. That's what today's sharing. And I'm going to make it into 3 parts. The first part will be, I'm going to share with you the principle that I use, okay, in my family. What do we do? The main principle, more generic, you can use it. You can see what are the things that you can use it in your family, or you are a Sunday school teacher, you can also think of how you're going to use it, but more in general. The second part, to make this session more value, I will going to invite my 2 children. They're going to speak about their journey from young, how what they have been doing until this age. And the third part is we are open for Q&A, especially the children. If you ask them how do they move from this level to the next level, you are most welcome to ask them any questions. Okay? So, okay, the first principle that, just before to give you a background, we have been, even my whole family has been involved in Buddhist work. My eldest one is going to be 19 already. So since very young, they have been involved in Buddhist work until now. Okay, but I've been involved in Buddhist work way before that. It's almost, I think, 40 years already. Since my teenage years, I've been involved in the Dhamma. So, and I always been involved in, when I first started, I deal with a lot of children. Okay, a lot of children. So that's where I get my experience. Okay, looking at children, right? Then when I have a family, also I still do a lot of programs for family. Okay, using what I have learned, using what I have observed, and integrating the Dhamma into the family life. Okay, it's not separated. Sometimes we have the thinking that Dhamma is Dhamma, family is family. I believe if we can put in the Dhamma principle in our family, I think it'll be wonderful. Okay, so today we are going to explore that. I'm going to share with you how some of the principles that we use in order to use Dhamma in our daily life. Okay. Okay, the first principle is lead with a purpose. Okay, lead with a purpose. Dhammapada 1 is it. What does it say? Mind is the forerunners of all things. Okay, so basically, when we lead with a purpose, we always have this thinking: how can I lead my family towards the Dhamma, to become a better person, to become a better version of themselves? So the first thing that I've learned, because I was working in the corporate world, the first thing that I've learned to have a vision for the company, vision and mission. So I brought that in our own family. Can we write a family mission statement? That's the first thing we did. Even when I got married, I sit down with my wife and think, can we write a mission statement for our both of us? So then after that, when our 2 child came in, we tried to include them. And basically, we want to have a path. Where are we heading as a family? So the first thing we did is we write a mission statement, right? Then the second one, when our children came in, we include them in the mission statement and let them also sit inside the session and see what can they include. Now they are almost graduating already in college already. It's another round of mission statement to include them, because we want to be inclusive and see what is the idea, right? So this has worked many years for us, okay? And right now is the time for review, okay? Because since they are having things on their own already, and we want to include in the mission statement. So just to give you an idea, okay, right? These are what our thoughts. So in other words, we have to prepare our mind first. Okay, this is our, just to give you an example, this has worked for us many years. This is our family mission statement. If you want to come up with your own mission statement, go ahead. It can be one-liner, it can be a poetry, it could be anything. As long as you have a guide. This is important, you know why? If not, the society values will get to them. If you do not have the value inside the value system inside your family, they will be easily influenced by societal tides and a lot of attraction out there. And this attraction are distraction sometimes. A lot of distraction. And I know when I talk to a lot of parents, they say, oh, my child is so distracted. First distraction is screen. Okay, we know that. So for so many years, we have seen that happen. So consciously, we need to get them involved to come out with our family mission statement. And we agreed on that. This is the way we are going to move. Right? So basically, we fill our house with a lot of love, laughter, and music. Okay? And our house is a sanctuary of healing. Okay? Not a sanctuary of quarreling. A sanctuary of healing. Okay? To inspire and renew each other. We connect with nature. I will share with you, and my children after will share with you, nature, where we go all out for nature, right? And the next thing is we try to develop each other's potential, and we encourage confidence, creativity in them. From very young, we encourage confidence, creativity, and at this age, they are very confident and they are very creative. Okay, and lastly, also, is our discussion with my wife. We want to leave a legacy of love and inspiration. Okay, right? Okay, the second principle is, this is very important. Sometimes we spend so much time just to push them to get good exam result, which is good, but that's not enough. Okay, we only focus on getting good grades. It's more than that. Life is much, much more than that. Okay? So we have the thinking that some parents, when I talk to them, oh, if my children do well in their exam, next time they will do well in their life. They equate exam, getting very good result in exam, and doing very well in life. That is more than that. So what we do is, we also notice, since dealing with a lot of children and family, we notice every child has its own potential. Okay? And sometimes when we measure intelligence, we only measure in what? Two things. Linguistic and academic and mathematical, usually. These two things. They don't look at other areas of intelligence. Actually, there are many areas. Actually, as a human being, it's multi-facet of intelligences. And if you can see what their intelligence are, you build up on their intelligence. Okay, so especially in the modern days now, okay, right? Every child has potential and talent. Basically, we help them to discover. Basically, when they are small, we bring them to everywhere to see things, and we observe what they are interested in, what is not interested. The thing is, one thing that we did right is we did not let the screen take over our role. So basically, what we do is when they're young, we bring them up, especially to nature, to seminars, to everything. So when they're out there, usually they don't look at their gadget. Okay? So that's how we also don't look at our gadget as parents. So we are a role model in that sense. So when we bring them out, once I notice, if the gadget takes over, it's almost game over. Because it's so attractive now, the gadget. So attractive, it's so hard to pull them out from that. Okay? And if you really notice that those creators who created this kind of gadget, they do not let their children use that gadget when they are small. Okay? So I'm not asking you not to use, but be wise. Don't let the gadget be the main thing in their life. Okay, the next thing is also, we give them a lot of unstructured time to play. Because their life is too structured. You know why? Tuition after tuition after tuition after tuition, and they don't have a life. We notice that. Sometimes when many years ago, when I do so many children program, children, I see their life is so boxed in. They don't have life they don't have life on their own, because the parents will send them to tuition after tuition after tuition. And we show them, this is a sad life. Because too much tuition and they don't have life to play. As children, they need to play. They need to be creative. They need a lot of unstructured time. Unstructured time means no device. Let them go and run. Let them go and play. Okay, let them be creative. Use their mind. Even their own gadgets, they develop their own gadget. When I was small at the time, I remember that's what we do, because that time we don't have all these gadgets. We run around, we create our own toys. Right. Okay? So I think this principle, I think, is also very important. Okay? So basically, this is what I'm doing. The other thing is also, a lot of us are so result-oriented that we only look at result. We don't look at effort. Children, please look at their effort. Okay? When they do something, even in your standard they are not successful, doesn't matter, because they put in the effort. If you focus on result, just result alone, like what in the corporate world, like what we do, what will happen?
You would need to know the lyrics.
We'll think of ways just to get the result. Either ethical or unethical, doesn't matter, I get the result. So what we are trying to tell them is, you want them to be an ethical, to be a good one, focus on the effort. Okay? And when they focus on the effort, you build resilience in them. Okay, you build resilience. And the thing is, remember, children have different intelligences. This one I need to emphasize again, because sometimes I notice parents give their children so much pressure, because their expectation is to get certain things, and they always compare. That fella can get how many A's? Why you cannot get so many A's? Okay, but over here, let me share with you. We have over here there are only 8 intelligences. Okay, but I think as there are more research done, I think there will be more intelligences. Okay, and this is what is said. Okay, every child has intelligence in different way. Our role as parents is to recognize nature and celebrate the diverse intelligence, so every child can thrive in their own way. Okay, so basically, generally, logical and linguistic. These two only. We focus so much on these two. But there are many other ways: musical, interpersonal, naturalistic, visual. A lot of other intelligences. And just don't focus on just these two, because we are so many intelligences. Okay? And also, generally, our education system focus on these two, generally. Okay? So we are also following the thinking of that. This is the only way. Actually, there are many ways. Okay? Just saying, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by his ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. So it doesn't mean that they don't do so well in their examination, they are stupid.
Okay, start. 2.
They have different intelligences, remember that. Okay, different intelligence, like all of us will have different intelligences. Okay, we have been conditioned that linguistic and mathematics is the only thing. There are many other things, right? Okay, it's our job to encourage them. If they have good, it's our job. They are genius. It's our job to look at where they are good at and encourage them to grow in that area. Okay, the next thing is encourage curiosity. Especially sometimes if you are living in a family where it can be seen but cannot be heard. When I was small, it's like that. Can see but we don't talk so much. Because we talk what? Cannot talk. They're not encouraged to talk. Now it's a bit different. Encourage them to communicate. Encourage them to solve problem. Encourage them to question. If more children were to question, to think of question, in fact, a lot of society problem will be solved. encourage them to think. Encourage them to solve problem. Okay? Right? And sometimes it could be challenging. Sometimes, especially working parents, when they come back home, they have so many questions. But that's a price to pay as a parent, isn't it? I always say it's very hard to outsource parenting skills. You can outsource music, you can outsource other things, but being a parent, do you want to outsource to the kakak? And you ask yourself, certain things can, but certain value system are very hard. You still need to play the role as a parent, no matter how busy we are. You still need to play that role. That cannot be outsourced. Non-negotiable, they call it. Okay? The next one is encourage children to investigate, challenge, and find meaning in anything. Right? Curiosity. Sometimes when they are curious, encourage them to be curious. And how I learn my parents is sometimes they're curious, I ask them to find out from the internet. After that, explain to me what they have found out. I reverse the role. Rather than we become just teacher and telling them this is right, this is wrong, I reverse the role and say, okay, you go and find out. Then tell me, explain to me. That I reverse the role. Okay? The next one is, this is also very important because we are living in a world there's so much falseness, there's so much scam, there's everything so much. So you need to make sure that they see the value in truth and integrity. And again, like I said, I've seen so many cases in my life. When I tell the children, why you didn't tell the truth? They say, when I tell the truth, you know what happened? Kena. Kena means what now? Either kena scolding or kena caning or kena take away my phone or take away, cut off the internet or whatever. So what are we encouraging? Better not to tell the truth, because when they tell the truth, they will be punished. So when children, even how angry you are, they tell the truth, appreciate that. I say, I'm angry, yes, but appreciate that you're telling the truth. That should be the way. So next time they dare to tell the truth, okay, then they know the reason why. Then encourage them, okay, you have done this thing wrong, how can we correct it? Not punishment. Punishment alone, what happened? Even in the corporate world, I also notice. You are very strict. What happened? When you're around, you're the boss, what happened? Everyone pretend to work. Work. Sometimes after that, if you go for meeting, sometimes you can go for a few meetings per day. They will be having party. So what will be better is what? You're around, not around. You instill that integrity in them. You instill that honesty in them. You're around, not around, things get done. The same with our children. Okay? But it has to be cultivated. Because we are in a mode now where we are so used to do things that probably our parents have taught us. Okay? So you have to really look into our own behavior and see. Okay, the next thing is teach children to speak and live with right speech and right action. That's very important. Right speech and right action actually is all in the 5 precepts. If you can teach them to practice the 5 precepts, and you yourself practice the 5 precepts, is good enough. Okay? Next one, this I think I don't have to really explain. Be a role model. Okay? For example, you don't want them to look at the screen too many hours. What do? Don't do it also isn't it? Also, they say, daddy, mommy can do it. How come I cannot do it? Isn't it? So you are not a role model. Actually, children, I have also noticed. Sometimes listening, they'll go in, they hear, go in, go out. But observing, they are number one. You don't have to say. They look at your behavior. They look at what you do. They observe. They observe your behavior. Okay? And you have to become no other way but becoming a transition figure, I call it. You want to cut off certain negativity. Sometimes it's general, it's from generation to generation, certain things have been passed. From generation, you have to be a role model and put a stop to that. So it doesn't carry on to my next generation. You have to have that kind of thinking and become a role model now. If not, whatever have been passed to you, you will do it. And whatever you are doing it, you'll pass to your children. And they'll pass to their children, the next, next. Okay? So whatever certain bad habits that have been passed, you have to cut it off. Start with parenting. Parents. Okay? Then spend time in nature. Why I said spend time in nature? See, when they're young at time, when I was working, I took a lot of leave just to go to nature. Our holiday is go to nature, do a lot of charity work. That is our holiday. I want them to have that thinking, okay, to immerse them in that kind of thing. After that, I'll let them explain to you what do they do, right? Okay. The other thing also is very important, the environment at home. That's also very important. Okay, sometimes I know it's very stressful at work, and the children also very stressful in their school with so much homework, sometimes bullying, a lot of other things, sometimes being compared. So when they come back home, you have, no matter what, to turn it into a different environment. Because if you live that kind of environment 24 hours, automatically they have certain kind of behavior. Right? Okay. Okay. The sixth principle I would like to share with you is educate the heart and the mind. Okay, we have two types of learning. One is external learning, one is internal learning. External learning is what? We go to school, we learn, we graduate from a degree, we learn to go for a university, and we learn to become what? Certain profession, lawyer, doctor, accountant, a manager, a cook, whatever. This is called external learning. The very important type of other learning is called internal learning. Learning about the heart and the mind. Right? This will cause happiness. Will ultimately lead them to happiness. So don't ignore that now. External learning is important as a lay person to earn a livelihood. To learn a livelihood, to have a good living. Right? But internal living is very important for them to strive. Mental health. Okay? Resilience. Being a human being. This is also very important. Okay? Don't ignore that part. Okay? We spend a lot of time and energy on external learning, but not so much on internal learning. So, internal learning could be what? Teach them to have a good heart and a good attitude towards life. How I will show you later. Right, the next one, do positive things to help others. Things like what? Beach cleanup. Going to help clean up, go to turtle sanctuary to help, to clean up the turtle. Many things they can do. For example, certain charity, get them involved. Okay? Right? The next one is kindness in action. It's not just theory. No. Get them involved. Most of my learning, my children learning are through not so much theory, but experiential learning. Experiential learning is what does it mean? It means get them involved, do it, and we learn from doing it. Okay? The next one is brief and kindness exercise. When we have time, we try to sit together as a family. As a family, 15 minutes to sometimes 10 to 15 minutes to sit together, and we do breathing exercise and also metta, that means loving kindness. Okay, to try to do it. Sometimes you don't have to do it, you just put on the tape only. And then sit for 10-15 minutes together. We try to do it when we have time. This is also very important. We notice that, right? Okay, the next one is foster a growth mindset. Growth mindset means, after that I let Sheldon Emerson explain to you what the growth mindset means. And also the other one is when you have setback, teach them to bounce back. Teach them to bounce back. Don't complain with them. Sometimes, there's something like that already. You make the matter worse. This one all cannot work. That's why you like that. Think, what can we do? Okay, and lastly is practice gratitude. Okay, practice gratitude. Okay, so these are the 6 principles. I don't want to go into detail. I become a bit more generic. I will let Sheldon and Emerson, okay, to share their journey. Okay, from the slides alone, you will know what we have done as a family. Okay, Sheldon, Emerson.
Hello, testing. Hi. Yeah, hello. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone can hear me, right? Okay.
Okay, just go to the first slide. Oh yeah. Could you full screen?
You can present more. I think it's really exit on this puppet. Present. Okay.
Okay. Let me just try out.
Okay.
All
right.
Okay. So
just now Mitra shared about just the more general parenting tips. And for us, we'd like to give our perspective on how we were brought up from the perspective of the child. So, okay, just an introduction for ourselves. My name is Sheldon, and I am 18 years old, turning 19 this year.
And my name is Emerson, and I am 17 years old.
Yeah, so actually, to summarize like what our background is, we actually do quite a number of things, but to summarize it all, basically for me, I'm a coder. We are both artists and animators, as well as we run a YouTube channel.
Yep, and we are authors, trainers, speakers, and college students.
Yes.
So currently, we actually run a YouTube channel called Cyber Legends Animations, where we produce 2D animated videos. And as of this date, we have almost 1 million subscribers in total, and almost 200 million views in total, which is pretty crazy.
Thank you.
So we'll be detailing more about how this channel got started later. But right now, we'd like to explain more about it.
Yeah, so day to day, we are actually, currently what we're doing, right, is actually we are always animating or illustrating. So we're creating these animations ourselves, as well as in our free time, we will develop tools for this channel, as well as give like short talks and sharings and workshops, kind of like what we're doing here today as well. So, to start at the very beginning of our journey, I'd like to highlight 2 key components that was very important for us. And that is our environment and our upbringing. So these are 2 different things. And I'll go into detail about how these areas affected our lives. So, for us, we were born and brought up in a Dhamma-inspired family. So Dhamma was a very big aspect of our lives. And we were also home educated, meaning that our parents were our teachers for the most part. And we would learn through going outside and hands-on learning and interacting. So if we look at how our association with the Dhamma, it actually started quite early. For us, we were very fortunate to be blessed by several variables just growing up. And as we grew up, we also took part in workshops. So we would, next slide. So we would actually have early exposure to these Buddhist camps and workshops. So our parents, who are facilitators and trainers, they've been doing this for many, many years. And it was just a kind of normal for us to tag along in these camps and actually talk and speak with participants who are much older than us. Yeah, so that was the environment that we immersed ourselves in.
Yeah, and also growing up, a big part of our life, as mentioned earlier, was actually nature and the environment. So growing up, as our dad said, we would go out a lot of times into nature, visiting forests, going jungle trekking, and this is also a way that we learn to practice kindness and compassion towards all living beings by interacting with the animals. And we would do like activities at different conservation activities, such as helping out at like turtle sanctuaries, where we would bathe the turtles, help clean the turtle tanks, as well as other activities such as beach cleanups, planting mangrove pods, and more. So,
yeah, so that was just a summary of our environment. But there is another important aspect, and that was our actual encouragement from our parents. So if we look at the next slide. So for us, we have actually been drawing since we were 2 years old. So our parents were very supportive of this passion, and they noticed that we were actually drawing quite a lot. So what they do instead, right, was that they gave us a lot of pens and papers, and instead of like using a tablet or iPad, our parents gave us a sketch pad, and we would draw on this sketch pad a lot. So we'll draw everywhere we went, while waiting at restaurants, while waiting at the banks, or even in the moving car. So for us, drawing was a way that we creatively express ourselves. And then from drawing, we actually also created our own form of entertainment. So of course, during this age, we didn't have access to any devices. So the way that we entertain ourselves was a lot to do with creating arts and craft. So for us, we will create board games or card games, and then we'll play them together as siblings. So it was a way for us to not just develop our creativity, but to also have fun at our age lah. Yeah, and another important aspect is that we were always storytellers at heart. So for us, we love to tell stories, and because we love to draw, right? We would draw comics of our characters going on different adventures, and we found it very fun to weave stories from our imagination. And this will be very important later as well. Yeah, and from creating comics, we also started writing books. So we actually found that we enjoyed to write. And we wrote and published our own, self-published our own children's storybooks, as well as did the illustrations. So everything we did ourselves and published it. And even from that, we still evolve in our creativity. So next, we actually took up digital illustration. So our parents, because they noticed that the digital age was becoming a bit more popular, they actually invested in a drawing tablet for us. And we would actually try drawing on the laptop, kind of like what you're seeing here. So for over the years, since 2019, we actually created comics for The Voice of Buddhism, which is a magazine. So this is from 2019, 2020, 2021. So these are comics that we created. Yeah, and in the other thing that we also always associate with is still the Dhamma. So even as we are growing up, even as we're getting more busy, we still take the time to attend talks and workshops and learn from the wise. So more recently, we actually did, we're still doing this, right? We actually recently took a retreat in Kota Kinabalu. So this was a 3-day retreat. And also we had another 1-day retreat at BMSM. This was Dhamma retreat at Mitra Jaya. So these were also quite recent. So as a result of environment that was very hands-on and interactive, and it supported us through learning through nature and learning from others, as well as receiving a lot of encouragement for our passion and giving us a medium to unleash our creativity, we ended up being very confident. So we grew up to be very confident and creative.
Yep, and this sense of confidence helped us to not just become from participants, but to become facilitators as well in these various Buddhist camps and workshops. So our parents, because they've been doing like helping out and facilitating Dhamma events, workshops, and camps for many, many years, they imparted this knowledge onto us, and we also helped to conduct some of these workshops as well. So over the years, we have conducted many different workshops, as well as gave different talks and sharings to try and inspire parents, but also children our age, and share our journey and how we got here. So these are many of the events that we've done over the years. And Another thing, another fun fact about us is that we are both a band. We play music at different charity events, at different Buddhist junctions. And I play the guitar and I sing, and Sheldon plays the piano or keyboard. So our parents, since very young, encouraged us to try and perform at a young age in front of a large crowd to help build our confidence, and it's what we've been doing since many years. Yes. So the biggest events that we've performed at was, for one, it's the Arya Charity Luncheon, where we performed to over 500 people, as well as members of the Sangha such as Ajahn Brahm, Venerable Saranankara, Ayya Sumangla, and others. As well as in 2018, we were invited by Bhante Mahinda to compose and perform our own original music to over 400 people at the Metta Convention.
Okay, and besides just the Dhamma Buddhist community, we actually developed an entrepreneurial mindset, and we transferred a lot of the skills that our parents have come instilled in us into actually workshops that we've been creating. So for us, since we enjoy drawing, right, we actually created workshops, or we conducted workshops for children and teens on topics such as like comic drawing or cartooning. And then for me, because I enjoy coding, we taught game development, we taught coding, and more recently, as we'll bring up on the YouTube channel, we actually taught animation, 2D animation, as well as YouTubing. So various different topics that we've conducted workshops on, and for children and teens. Yeah, so and that led to in 2019 where we actually took part in the pitching competition, and this was called the Young Entrepreneurs X Factor. So it happened in 2019, and this competition that we won was actually gave us a scholarship to, both of us, a scholarship to an international school. So that brings us to 2020.
Yep. So now it's a bit of a pivot point. In 2020, the pandemic struck. And as you know, everyone was suddenly just, it was the whole country went into lockdown. We were all stuck in our homes, and there wasn't much we could do. Because all the ways that we used to learn and all the activities that we used to do since young were suddenly unavailable, such as conducting events or going to workshops or conducting workshops, as well as going out into outdoors and nature. So it was quite a boring time. Like even we started taking our online education, but it just didn't feel the same since there was no way to physically meet with people or connect with them. So it was quite a dull time. But for me, I still personally wanted to keep learning and improving my skills. And it just happened one day where I was just scrolling through the App Store, and I came across this animation app called Flipperclip. So previously, before this, I had already done comics, drawings, digital art. I was thinking that, and even storybooks, I thought that animation could be the next logical step, turning your digital drawings to life and making them move. So I decided to give it a shot, and I found I loved it. So I began to animate for hours and hours every day and started to post them on a YouTube channel. So at the beginning, the earliest animations which I posted were something called storytime animations, where they were just basically short stories of my life and just different events that happened, such as my experience in online school or an introduction about me and my hobbies and interests. So the channel wasn't really taking off at this time, but I still continued to post just because I love doing the craft so much, and I just wanted to share my ideas to the world. So after a while, I hit my first little milestone, which was 100 subscribers. Although that isn't much comparing now, it did show me at the time that there were people out there who did care about the stories I had to share with the world, and that motivated me to keep on working and producing more animations. So, spending hours and hours every day, from morning to night, just animating and trying to improve my skills, and posting regularly on the channel went from, in just 10 months, from 100 to 100,000 subscribers. So it was incredible to see this rapid growth. And we noticed that there were many viewers out there who also resonated with these stories and ideas. And they sent us many different heartwarming comments saying that these animations cheered them up, it made their day, and it even inspired them to start doing their own animations as well. So it's incredible to see that this could resonate with an audience of children and teens who are just like us. So it was at this time where I realized that seeing the rapid growth of the channel, I really wanted to take it more seriously. And I noticed that school was a bit slow, especially being online school. It was a bit more difficult to learn as well, and it felt a bit slow for me. So I still had to take my IGCSE exams eventually. So I decided to actually leave school earlier and self-study for the IGCSE exams myself with online tutors so that I could complete my education faster. So using the skills that I learned from YouTube and making animations, which were simply setting goals for yourself and being determined enough to achieve what you want, in just a year, I managed to achieve all A stars on all my exams that I took for IGCSE, and I even was awarded the Cambridge IGCSE High Achievement Award for a subject which I took. So it was pretty incredible to see.
Yeah, and for me, I also got A's and A stars for my exam. Okay, so now we arrive at the post-pandemic. So this is roughly around 2022 onwards. So things were a bit different because while the pandemic was gone, it meant we can resume events, right? So we can take more, we can basically learn and network with others. But the thing is, because the channel at this time was already quite big, we actually had a different approach. So what we did was we actually took part in a lot of industry events. So this time around, we actually spoke to a lot of people in the industry in various different fields, like animation and filmmaking, as well as we were invited by Google, multiple instances, right? We were invited by Google to visit their office for certain YouTube events, like YouTube Creator Day, which happened in 2023 and 2024. And yeah, as well as, actually this is Emerson, like he's speaking to the head of YouTube of Singapore in Malaysia. So yeah, that was very cool as well. Yeah, and more recently, actually, we even got a chance to speak to, we had another event that was in collaboration with YouTube and Shopee, and this event allowed us to network with a lot of very large creators as well. And this was actually kind of a really dream for us because a lot of creators that we have been watching were actually there physically, and we could finally speak to them and learn from them as well. Yeah, and we managed to also resume conducting talks and more frequently we actually give more frequent talks as well as workshops. So this would be more focused around now about YouTube and animation. And at this stage, right, the channel has a very wide outreach. So we're glad to see that it has a very global outreach for viewers. Our largest audience actually happens to be in the opposite end of the world, in the United States, which is 30%, followed by other countries like Vietnam, Brazil, Philippines. So we're very glad for the outreach. And it's also very good to see that we've received a number of fan arts for the YouTube channel for our channel mascot called Cyber Legends. Yeah, and it's good to see that we are now helping to inspire creativity in others as well, and to let them also share their creativity.
Yeah, and seeing that there were so many different countries and so many people from around the world watching our videos, we decided that we really wanted to try and see how well these animations could do in other languages, where we will officially translate them into different languages, such as adding subtitles in Chinese, Spanish, and Brazilian Portuguese. So, actually in 2022, we were invited by a platform called Bilibili, which is essentially YouTube in China, to actually join their global influencer recruitment program. And they invited us to start posting our content in Chinese onto their platform. And this actually turned out to be super successful, And this is our second biggest platform with over 400,000 subscribers on there. So we were also awarded the Bilibili Silver Play button for achieving 100,000. Yeah.
Okay, but then the thing is, we were already done with school, right? So we had about like 2 years to work on the YouTube channel freely. But then college came about. So actually, this is already a bit of a while ago because I did just graduate from college. But there was a period of time where, if we look at the next slide, both me and Emson were working on college, our studies, as well as the YouTube channel, and giving talks and workshops at the same time. So we were doing all three of these things simultaneously, and we had to really juggle our time. So the question is, like, how were we able to even juggle all of these things at this age? So the thing is, we actually had to change a lot, and this we'll get into about a growth mindset. But the idea is that our parents, when they saw the potential in this area, they actually encouraged it more. So they did invest in actual proper equipment to make the animation business work. So we do now have actual animation equipment. We used to do it in just an iPad, but when after that we found that we needed to upscale, right? So we got a graphic tablet and a laptop as well. And then for our team, the funny thing is that actually our parents are also kind of part of working in this business. So there are instances where we've actually upskilled our parents to teach them like animation or like illustration, right? And they actually help with the channel as well. So it's very great to see that. As well as we did hire our first part-time video editor last year. So this was also good because we were trying to get a team, and we are looking forward. I think our next goal is to actually find or expand our team in the near future. And constantly self-learning. So of course we didn't really have, because when we were first brought up and raised, right, we didn't really have mentors other than our parents. So for a lot of things, we actually self-learn. And in this situation in YouTube, it actually isn't much different. For us, we still self-learn quite a lot, and we didn't have any teachers to teach us YouTube. So we actually learned through just watching videos on YouTube itself. So we actually, it's kind of like a feedback loop. Yeah, and I think that will bring me to the final point that we'd like to end off with, and that is about the concept of a growth mindset. So this is what our parents have been trying to bring up in us since young, and the idea of a growth mindset is that the mind is constantly able to learn and to expand and to grow. It is never fixed in one place, and you can always develop new skills or abilities. So to contrast what a growth mindset is like, we can look at what a fixed mindset looks like. So a fixed mindset might say that if a problem is too hard, it is either maybe because you're not good or you're not capable or something, or maybe like you're too young or too old. There's a lot of reasons why or excuses why we might think we aren't able to do this. But a growth mindset can kind of work around that. So for us, right, because we have a lot of perseverance, we found that whenever we make mistakes, it is just part of the learning process, and it doesn't really hurt us to actually make mistakes. For us, it is actually more of a learning process. As well as for a growth mindset, right? If let's say it's something I can't achieve immediately, I'll tell myself that I will be eventually able to achieve it. It is just a matter of taking the time and effort to put into this area, and you can still be successful at it. So for us, we will never, because our parents were never super critical about us. In fact, they were very supportive and they encouraged us a lot. As a result, we had this very positive mindset to learning. So I think to end off, we would like to give a final quote that you can remember, which is,
To find your passion, follow it.
stay creative and don't let your mindset be a limit.
Thank you.
So we have questions now if anyone wants to ask.
I think now we have more time just for a bit of like a Q&A. If anyone have any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
My question is somehow related to Dharma school. I think many of Buddhist centers in Malaysia are in one way or another having a Dharma school for the kids. But many of us are struggling, to be honest, because the Dharma school children are not growing. In fact, some are stagnant, some are on the downtrend. Needless to say, there are many attractions outside, which is our competition. And most of the management of the Dharma school in many of the Buddhist society for years has been thinking hard how do we improve it? How do we solve the problem? Is there any way outside the normal traditional approach? And one is, of course, thinking about digitalizations, animations, and so on. Make our Dhamma school much, much more interesting for the young kids to follow the trend, so to speak. So I just wonder, since you two are so talented, has it been any request in the past, or don't mind to start thinking now, to put your talents and effort in helping Dhamma school to come up with some kind of syllabus that is attractive enough for our young kids today, so that we can double and triple up our Dhamma school students population? Thank you.
I see. So, yeah, I mean, we're definitely open to helping out at, in more Dhamma events. But I would still say, back to the what my dad was talking about. Actually, I'd say that it's usually more of the parents that helped us to. It's like, usually I see a lot of parents, they will send their children to a lot of different events or workshops or stuff to help them, but I think it all goes back to the environment that they have at their own home as well.
Yeah, I want to add on to that actually. So I can't speak for the management of these schools, but I can say I think it's easy maybe for a parent to just chuck their kid there and a few hours or however long, and after that just take them back. But for our parents, because we didn't really attend a lot of Dhamma school. Right. So what we did instead was, because our parents, they always advocate for we as a family, we do something together, right? So whether that be anything, it could be any kind of topic, it could be about nature, it could be about learning a certain history. But then for Dhamma specifically, we did do that quite a lot. So we do visit temples together as a family. So I think because for a child, maybe they would want to see their role models, who we assume is going to be their parents, at least for young children, right? Their role models will have to be their parents to some extent. They want to see them also participating. So I'm not saying the parents jump into the Dhamma school as well, but it's to bring them out to see the Dhamma alongside the family. I think that's good for us, because that's kind of what our parents did for us. And then as a result, we've learned to appreciate it more. Instead of just learning, and then maybe we don't see our parents learning as well. It's maybe a bit weird, feel like there's not much connection. But when we see our family alongside us learning or experiencing the Dhamma, then we can appreciate it more.
So I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, all Dhamma school can help in, I guess, development of the children, but also it's just as much of a parent's role to, in fact, more of them to go alongside them and to encourage them as well. So yeah, thank you for your question.
We're talking about discipline for kids, how to instill that for the children. But nowadays, children have a mind of their own, and they don't like to be told to do this and that. And then, being disciplined means you have to persevere, go through hardship, don't give up easily. You have to go through the daily grinds sometimes in a quite monotonous way every day, which is very hard, understandably, for kids, for parents, they're the same. So, and in today's society, back then, maybe 10, 20 years ago, again, because you have this hardship education, where people have no choice but just to be disciplined to succeed, right? But today is so different. Family have a lot of resources. They can keep failing, keep trying, without thinking about the consequences of having this failure. So just to understand a bit, how do you instill that discipline or that kind of awareness for children? Thank you.
Okay, I see. So my opinion of it is that discipline is a bit subjective also. Discipline, for example, let me ask you this, these kids these days, right, they can play games for, let's say they can play a video game for 10 hours straight. That's, but they can only study for 30 minutes, It's somehow, for some reason, why can they be so disciplined to play games for so hours and to work so hard on the games, but they cannot like be like this on studies. I would say that, okay, for us at a very young age, we were encouraged to, our parents never focused so much on academics. They didn't think that academics are the end of the world. Like, in fact, our parents say, we don't even need to get A's, can pass good enough already, but we got A's. So. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that every child has different interests. Every child has different interests and something that usually they have intrinsic motivation towards. For us, it was creating ideas, stories. And it is, our parents actually encourage that. Because I do see a lot of parents, like we had no problem with being, I guess, disciplined to create stories, ideas, even working on this channel, because it's something that we enjoy.
Yeah, I would like to add on to that as well, because our parents never taught us discipline formally. So how is it that we can work every day on the channel and we'll meet the deadlines that we set for ourselves, right? I think it comes down to whether there's an avenue for the child to be creative in a way that excites them. Because obviously, right, I think in this day and age with the rise of gadgets and maybe a bit of overstimulation, it is easy to run away from things that are boring or maybe a bit difficult. But we have been taught that, because maybe a bit of a criticism for the general education system is that they prioritize a one-size-fits-all methodology of learning. So they'll say like, okay, everyone must sit down in class, they must learn this way.
Yeah, like
but
be
our
quiet,
parents,
don't
right,
ask questions.
Yeah, don't ask. I mean, maybe they are strict about the questions you ask or whatever, right? And that's an environment that is a bit hard to change because it is already long-rooted in the system. But our parents did help us to see things in ways that maybe they weren't finding quite as interesting. Because I think part of discipline comes also from whether you are motivated to do something. I think it's hard to do anything without motivation. So if a child, at least for me, right, because if I was bored with a method of learning, if I didn't understand how to see something in a different way, if I was fit into just the same shoe size as everyone else, then I think I would lack the discipline. I think it is good to find some way to spark interest. Maybe to be a bit more specific about that, our parents, if let's say it's a topic that we wanted to learn, right, they would either do one of a few things, right? They would find very different ways to learn. They will either go out on a field trip to learn it hands-on, or maybe they might like find some like workshop or a group of friends to come and learn this topic. So if that's the case, right, I would definitely be motivated to learn, and I have the discipline to listen and sit. So that's for me, lah. I feel that that's how I can do it for long hours. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the question.
Has there been anything that you were exposed to and you realize you don't have the intrinsic motivation to go through and you sort of say, this is not for me?
Okay, I will say this. Being home educated for many years, we were home educated for many years until I was like 13 years old. It's called homeschool, but people use that term sometimes when they go to school, so it's a bit confusing. Let's just say that our parents were our teachers. We didn't like have a formal education. Obviously, because school is something you haven't experienced, it's something that I didn't really want to go to at first. I didn't like thinking of exams and school. I like to be, creative and create ideas and stuff. But it all started with we won a scholarship to an international school, both of us. And our parents decided us to take part in this competition. So we had to we use our skills that we learned also, to actually do a pitch and win it. So this wasn't something I was half-heartedly wanting to go to school. Not exactly, but it was something new. One thing I realized about us that we grew up with, a mindset that we have, is trying out new things, even uncertain, is completely fine. A lot of people tend to dislike going out of the comfort zone these days, and they reject every new thing. But we've always learned that because our parents always encourage a very open and growth mindset. We can always learn new things. We don't shut down ideas immediately.
Also, our parents, maybe to elaborate on things that didn't click for us, that was definitely a lot. Because our parents, they send us for so many different events, but just to make a distinction, right, they send us for the events, but they usually participate along with us as well. Not just send us everywhere like tuition as well. It's like, for example, there's a certain kind of sports that we tried, and we found that we didn't really click with it. Like maybe for us, we do like swimming. We have tried some other sports as well. And for those things, they didn't click with us. So then our parents, they were like, okay, never mind, we'll find another avenue for you to have exercise, for example. And similarly for anything else, maybe whether it be for just different learning or different kind of topics. So that's because our parents weren't too fixed about what we should do. We shouldn't, it's not like we have to do a certain kind of sport because all our friends are doing it. They just kind of like try out different kind of sports. Like for us, we did find that we like water sports a bit more. So then we do that more frequently because it's our.
I mean, just to summarize, because it's a bit everything. Just to summarize, it's we have more of like a growth mindset. Our parents helped us to always be okay with trying out new things, even if we don't know much about it or don't like it at first. And the fact that our parents are always supportive and coming with us instead of just going there and just driving off somewhere, it gives us enough motivation to do it for them as well. I see a lot of times also parents just like to just like put their kids away first somewhere, and then they want to do something else. They just want to like be free from them for a while. But
I don't blame you guys.
yeah, but it's motivating to see that your parent also cares and that they're there with you, so you're motivated to do it even if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for your question.